Hello students, today we are going to discuss about CAPS. CAP means cleaved amplified polymorphic sequences. This is a PCR based marker. The methodology behind CAPS is that first of all you need to isolate DNA from different organisms to amplify the DNA with the specific primers. That means here you are not using arbitrary primers. So with the specific primers, you have to amplify all of these samples. Then you will get amplified products from the sample 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then that amplified product need to be digested with the Russell enzyme. Then these digested product need to be loaded onto gel. After electrophoresis, you will get a pattern in the gel, and this pattern indicates CAPS. Reiterating, it's once more that here what you have to do is that the DNA you will get, and that DNA need to be amplified with the specific primers. Then that amplified product need to be digested with the restriction enzyme. Then the pattern on the gel need to be analyzed. That indicates CAPS. Okay, this pattern may be different from that of the different organisms. This can be more clear with the next picture. I have told you just a while ago that you need to amplify the DNA with the specific sets of primer. Here we have utilized these two primers. There is maybe a forward one, this may be a reverse one. So this particular fragment of the DNA need to be amplified. So these primers bind just outside of this particular DNA. So after the PCR process, we will get an amplified product. Okay, this is the amplified product, and the second step is that you have to treat it with a Russell enzyme. See, here we have a Russell site for that particular Russell enzyme. So after treating with the Russell enzyme, you will get two fragments of that amplified product. Okay, that means after the gel run, you will get two bands, one of this one and another of this one. Suppose this is the amplified product of a different organism. That means this is a different. This may be a sample two. This is the sample one. Then this is the sample two. So the DNA amplified, and you will get amplified product, and this product need to be restriction digested. Then here we can see that there is no restriction site for that particular restriction site. So this amplified product may remain intact. So in the gel you will get only one band. That means for one organism you will get two bands, and for another one you will get one band. So this pattern in gel for these different organisms may have differences. So this can be more clear with the next picture. There is here. Here we are considering three kinds of organisms for a particular gene. That particular gene having two polymorphisms over here. They are allele A and allele B. So there are three kinds of organisms. They are homozygous for A, homozygous for B, and heterozygous. That is, both alleles may comes in one. So we can consider in the first case, that is in the case of homozygous A. Here for allele A, there are two Russell sites. This is the amplified product of that particular organism, and this is the amplified product of that a different one. This is the amplified product of a heterozygous one. So in that particular region or in that particular gene region, the A allele having two resident sites. One is here and another is here. So altogether you can expect three bands in the gel. One for this particular region and another for this region and the other for this region. And in the case of homozygous B, in the allele B having three resident sites. So you can expect 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 bands in the gel. 1, 2, 3 and 4. In the case of a heterozygous organism, there are two alleles may come in one. So here in this, allele is there, B allele is also there. So for we have already seen that in the case of a B allele there are two resident sites, and in the case of A allele there are two resident sites. So in the B allele itself we can expect a 1, 2, 3 and 4, 4 bands in the gel, exactly like this. In the case of A allele 1, 2, 3, 3 bands exactly like this. But you have to keep in mind that this particular fragment is exactly similar to that of this. So these two fragments will contribute to only one band, and this band is this fragment is exactly similar to that of this fragment. So these both of them will contribute to only one band. But here in this case, here you can see it is a unique one. So this contribute to a distinct different band. But here in the case of allele B, there is one more resident site inside it, that is this one. So this band, this fragment severs into two in the case of allele B, that is this one and this one. So altogether one band, this is one band, second band, third band, fourth band and fifth band. So altogether you can expect around 5 bands in the gel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The strategies to develop CAPS markers. The first itself shows that the sequence, the RFLP probe. Here what we are going to do is that after RFLP you will get fragmented DNA of a particular genome. That fragments of DNA need to be introduced into a vector, and then that vectors need to be transformed or introduced into bacterial cells. Then you will get clones of vectors. Then that vectors need to be isolated from the bacteria, and then you need to sequence the DNA of interest that is present in the vector. Then hence you can get to know the sequence of the DNA of inserted. Then you can develop probes against it. That can be utilized in CAPS. And the second sentence says that design primers to amplify 800 to 2000 base pair DNA fragment. That means by means of NCBA site, you will get you may get to know the sequence of the DNA. With that knowledge, you can develop forward and reverse primers. Then utilizing that primers, you can amplify a particular region of the DNA. Then if you can develop markers against these introns only know that these introns are non-coded regions in the genome. So these non-coded regions that accumulates more mutations over there, so we can expect more polymorphisms over there. So if we consider those regions for developing primers, then you will get ample polymorphisms over there. Then the third one, PCR product is cloned and sequenced. That is exactly similar to that of the RFP. So you have to introduce this amplified product in the vector, then to battery cell, then you have to isolate the vector from the clone bacteria, and then that need to be utilized to sequence the gene of interest. Hence, you can get to know the sequence of the DNA, so you can develop primers against that. And these are the other two steps. Just read about that. Okay, that's all.